Family, what up? We're back. Thank you guys so much. It means so much that you interact in the comments. Matter of fact, let me know where you're from. Let me know how long you've been here. Let me know your immediate thoughts about the situation. It helps the video get spread so much. And I think I'm upholding my end of the bargain. I'm outputting more content, and you guys are liking and commenting more. So thank you. It does motivate me greatly. Um, this situation, it's interesting, and I've been doing my research. We've been doing it together and just gathering other people's outlooks and whatnot about this situation. But Poetic Flacco, he did a story. Bro tried to get me to come on a particular podcast, and I just couldn't do it. It wasn't to come on to talk, but it was to go and work, like to be a reoccurring, I don't know, to be an employee there. Anyway, I couldn't do it at all. But I love his commentary. Point blank, period. Um, let's see what he got going on.
The bodyguard statement was at least enough to have U.S. Congresswoman Anna Paulina think that Tory Lanez is innocent. It was able to sway her, and now she's an advocate for Tory Lanez. Now, this to me is the game changer, and this is why Megan Thee Stallion and Rock Nation is currently panicking. Because Tory Lanez and his attorneys putting out press conferences, talking to the media, they've been doing this for years, bro. All right, Rock Nation and Megan Thee Stallion ain't worried about Tory Lanez and his team breathing hot air for hours and having press conferences declaring his innocence. But they are concerned that an actual politician, a U.S. Congresswoman, is now taking interest in this case and is now advocating for Tory Lanez to get released. So we're gonna discuss that later. So when we read the rest of Megan Thee Stallion's statement towards Tory Lanez, and you hear her panicking, and you hear like the franticness within her statement, understand this is because a U.S. Congresswoman is now taking up the fight for Tory Lanez.
This can put eyes on, well, more eyes on a situation. And when that happens, it'll be like what's going on in New Orleans right now with all the things coming uncovered with that prisoner situation. It's like when the more eyes are on it, people look deeper. When people look deeper, they usually find discrepancies. To have a person of this stature be brave enough to risk things coming out to speak and give her stance on this situation, that means a lot. It does. And Tory could definitely use that. I wonder her age. I wonder what her musical geographic is like, or demographic, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I wonder so much about this lady. But at the end of the day, she's here doing a good deed. Um, this is the last thing that a certain company wants. Because if there's foul play, any connections, wire transfers, text, emails, anything, it'll be uncovered. And somebody will have to answer to these actions.
If you're a non-biased, you could also point at Megan Thee Stallion, even if you are a supporter of Megan Thee Stallion, and say her asking Tory Lanez to leave her alone is now hypocritical. Because if you guys remember, in December of 2024, when nobody was talking about this Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion situation, everybody had moved on. Nobody was really like, there was no major updates, no new updates, no blogs really posting about it. Megan and Tory was not in the news headlines, and Megan brought them back in the news headlines because Megan Thee Stallion decided to file a restraining order against a man in Tory Lanez who was in jail at the time.
All right, real quick. I never agree with that restraining order stuff. Tory cannot control what his fans do. or people that even just believe that he was falsely accused or falsely convicted. But he's in jail. A restraining order? Your call is being monitored by the whatever Tappahatchee Correctional Center. So he's harassing her. Okay. Or was he calling and texting her from a contraband phone? No. I can guarantee you. Because we would have got reports that his cell was raided and they found contraband. She would have reported him if that were the case.
Now, get this, okay? Megan Thee Stallion filed this restraining order the very same week she had a single dropping. So a lot of people was accusing Megan Thee Stallion of using this Tory Lanez situation to promote her single, because Megan Thee Stallion also stated in the past before this that she was done speaking about it and done dealing with the situation. So filing a restraining order against a man who's in jail for 10 years was kind of crazy. It was kind of overkill as well. So you can't say leave me alone, but then on the other hand, you brought it back to the media. You brought it back to attention. You had your lawyer send in like the blog pages, and the restraining order to multiple blogs to post about it. So again, bro, you can't have it both ways, bro. Either you want to use the situation to promote singles or you don't.
I have been saying this almost every video. She used him for album rollouts, free promo, playing on the heartstrings of her supporters, knowing everything was built on a lie. Nasty work. Nasty work. You would just think, without having a mother and a father, you would value existence more. But she values her career more. And that's understandable. But, yeah, let's go.
So U.S. Congresswoman Anna Paulina would take to Twitter to write that we have compelling evidence proving Tory Lanez's innocence, and it will be released within the next 36 hours. Those who rush to call for his incarceration, or worse yet, push false evidence, should prepare to be held accountable. This is scary coming from a congresswoman, bro. Coming from a politician is a different ball game, homie. When she not only says, hey, bro, we got compelling evidence that Tory Lanez is going to be free soon, because this evidence should free him, but also the people responsible for pushing false evidence and putting Tory in jail should be ready to be held accountable. That's scary. I can see why Megan Thee Stallion is panicking, homie.
It's time to get it popping, y'all. It really is. I hope this lady does everything she wants to do or can do when it comes to this situation. I mean, how much more do we have to take? Like, it's already almost like just a battle, period. Ethnicities, races, beliefs, male, female, everything in between. This case just pushed the envelope for so many things. But it confirmed something that's huge. An agenda. Nothing's coincidence, allegedly.
Now, she would also call on Governor Newsom to review Tory Lanez's case and issue a pardon, and she tagged him directly on Twitter. She didn't stop there, bruh. She continued. Tory Lanez has filed a direct appeal, a habeas petition, and a successive habeas, all now consolidated by the California Court of Appeals. They have a seated panel. They have seated a panel. Oral arguments are coming. This case is far from over. Due process matters. Tory Lanez's conviction and sentencing raised major constitutional concerns. First Amendment, Sixth Amendment, 14th Amendment. These issues demand urgent review. Oh, she riding for Tory Lanez, bro. I don't know if she's doing this on her own goodwill. Now, I do know that Republicans, I guess, have had some type of motivation or a particular interest in Tory Lanez's particular case. because it's a means to go at Gascon. But nonetheless, though, this is still very good for Tory Lanez and is not good for Megan Thee Stallion.
$3.6 million bail for Chris. 3.6. Interesting. I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, this case just opened up a whole can of worms I don't think they were ready for. I'm ready to find out the connection of this inmate that got Tory and whoever we think sent them. Yeah.
Yo, I don't know how Tory Lanez did this, bro. I don't know if the bag is talking. He threw a couple M's, bro, but this right here is brilliant by Tory Lanez. Megan Thee Stallion is panicking, I don't think, not only at the prospects of Tory Lanez being released, but I think Megan is panicking because Megan knows, man, once that Congresswoman gets to digging, once the rocks get overturned, bro, they're going to see a lot of things that are going to get a lot of people in trouble. One thing in particular is this Tory Lanez being stabbed, is this mystery surrounding him being stabbed. I'm not saying Megan Thee Stallion is involved. I wasn't there. I don't even know why Tory Lanez was stabbed, allegedly, all right, or the real story. But Tory Lanez and his team think so. They alluded to it. They said, you know, the conspiracy that Megan and them may be involved isn't just a conspiracy. They did everything to put the blame on Megan, but just outright say she did it.
We're gonna end it right there. All he played was the one lady that was talking about it's not rocket science. And I don't want to speak too much about that situation because it's gonna make me want to dive deeper into the things that she was saying. But I'm glad that we got some people of different hue. I'm glad we got a mixed group of people that are fighting for bro. I'm glad that people aren't scared to voice the facts. Because at the beginning of the day, we know and they know what they're up against. If you know, you know.